Hello Photography 1-2. I'm going to be doing a recording for how to do editing for a photo collage, and so this way you can actually add multiple photos onto a new photo or on a photography template. And so the easiest way of doing this, again, I want you to use at least 8 photos in your photo collage. So I gathered 8 photos I took from a sunset I shot a couple weeks ago. So what you want to do is to select all 8 photos and then add those and open them into Photoshop. And so each of the photos will show up as tabs on the top of your screen. And so you should have 8 tabs depending on how many photos you open. So what we want to do is create a new document. So we're going to go File, New. And what you can do is do a custom size. And so depending on how big you want it, you can have it set to inches. So I'm just going to do a standard kind of paper size at 8.5, by 11. But you could do it any size ratio you want. And so you can also, right now it's a vertical orientation, you can make it horizontal depending on what size you want. There's some custom sizes in here too, depending on what you want. And there's some little kind of templates that you can use, that you can download. But I'm just going to use the custom sizing here. It's the easiest way of approaching this. So I'm just going to in-app 11. You could call this Photo Collage 1. You can choose the color of your background from white, black, background color transparent, or a custom color. And you can click on it and also create a custom color as well. So I'm just going to leave it as white. Color profile is up to you. And then just hit create. So it's going to create a blank document. So it'll show up as one of these tabs on the top. So if I use my move tool, again, the move tool is the furthest one up on the toolbar. So if you click on that one, you can actually click on the photos. And so what you want to do is basically drag and drop this onto your collage document. So my collage document's here. So I'm just going to click on this photo. I'm going to click and hold the click and drag it and snap it off and let go. So just basically click on the tab, hold the click, drag it over and let go, so it snaps off, kind of like a Windows, like a internet browser. And so if I have my move tool, I'm going to click inside my photo. Just going to click and drag it over and let go onto my photo collage template. So I'm just going to hit OK on the colors. I can close this now. So I'm on my photo collage tab. As you can see, this photo is pretty big. It's bigger than the custom template I made at 8.5 by 11. So I just need to size this down. Easy way to do that is just go to Edit and to Free Transform, or you can press Command T as the shortcut. So if I zoom out, pressing Command minus, I'm just going to zoom out. And again, you go to your view, and then I can zoom in or out. So it's Command plus to zoom in, Command minus to zoom out. So then I can click from a corner and I can size this photo down. So I'm just going to kind of size it down and then move it into the place I want. I can zoom back in. So once I'm happy, just hit the check and then I'll commit that free transform. Because I still have the move tool active, I can still move it around with the move tool. And you'll see my layers. So this is my background layer of my template, and then my layer 1 is my photo 1, right? I could change the name on this, double click on that, and just say, photo 1, just to stay organized. You can keep it layer 1, totally up to you. And so then what I would do is just, click on my other photos, click and snap it off, click inside the photo, hold the click and drag and drop it into a new one. Hit OK if there's a color profile mismatch. And then just go Edit and then Free Transform. I'm just going to zoom out so I get all my boxes. So this one's a vertical, so I'm just going to size it down. So clicking on the corner. Sometimes it might mess with the ratio. So sometimes you might need to hold the Shift key to keep the ratio. So it might do that. And so then you can just size it, any way you want. You might zoom in a little bit just to kind of see how it's going to look. Once I'm happy with it, just hit the check or double click on it and I'll commit the free transform. And there's my second layer, so I'm just going to call this photo 2. And then I would keep dragging those into my template. And again, I can click on a photo on that layer and then move it around. But again, if you're not on the right layer, you can't move the right photo. So just make sure you're on the right photo layer when you're moving around your photos. So if I want to try to move this photo and I was on my first layer, I can only move that one object. I can keep free transforming. So again, maybe I want to resize this again. So just make sure you're on the right layer, go to edit, and then free transform. I get the boxes again, and I can resize it, double click. So let's say I'm happy, with my layout. Another option you can do to kind of make this more interesting is if you double click on the right side of the layer, so not on the text. If you double click on the text, you can change the text, but if you double click to the side of the text here, you get blending options. The other way of doing this is pressing Control click and choosing blending options. And so you'll see a lot of different options you can put on your layer. Like you could add a stroke to the edge of it. So it's like adding an edge stroke. I'm going to turn that off. You could do inner glow, outer glow, patterns. So lots of different options. One you can do is the drop shadow. So drop shadow will basically add a fake shadow around your image. And then you can adjust the strength of it, the distance, which direction it's going. You can actually change the angle it's going, the spread of that shadow, and the size of the shadow. So you can kind of see how each one does a different effect. But it's kind of cool to make it kind of three-dimensional look, and then hit OK. So it'll add this drop shadow effect to my layer. You can see the effects drop shadow. And if you want to copy that, just right-click or Control-click and choose Copy Layer Style. And then I'll just Control-click on here and do Paste Layer Style. And I can paste it so it has the exact same style on all of my photo layers. So then I would just, add in all my other photos, drag and drop them on, edit, free transform. I'm just going to zoom out, pressing Command minus, size it down to the size I need, and then double click to commit that free transform. And then again, I could just go right click or Control click and choose Paste Layer Style, and I'll paste that layer style to that layer. So if you want to keep working on it, first what you want to do is go to File, Save As. And then I'm just going to, choose my desktop. You could choose the folder you want to save it into. And then your format, you want it to be Photoshop. So it's photocollage1.psd, Photoshop format. And the reason why I can do that is if I save it, it'll save it with all my layers. It will make it a really big file, but it will save all my layers. So if I close out Photoshop, like I'm done for the period, I'm just going to navigate to where I saved it on my desktop. Here's my photo collage. So if I open that back into Photoshop, you'll see I still have my layers. So I can still click on my layers. I can still move around the layers and adjust them. I can add more photos onto this and keep working on it with my layers. So just keep track of your layers over here. Once you're finished, then the last thing you want to do is go to Layer, Flatten Image. So Layer, Flatten Image. It's going to flatten all your layers together. So again, I'll show it again. Just go to Layer and then Flatten Image. It'll flatten all your layers together. And then just go File, Save As. So I'm going to save out a different format. So I'm going to switch this format to a JPEG, JPEG format, and then hit Save. So you can't open Photoshop PSD formats into your Google Slide. And so when you turn it in, you want to have it saved as a JPEG. So you could have one saved as a Photoshop format, .psd, and then your finished one will be a JPEG format, and that's what you can actually upload into your Google Slide or to a Flickr album. So cool. All right, thank you.